Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Virtual Spring Spotlight today, talking about our International Student Services. My name is Brian Childs. I am one of our International Student Advisors here, and looking forward to meeting you all very soon.
Hi everyone, my name is Ariel Freitas. I'm also with International Scholar and Student Services, and I'm an Assistant International Advisor. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. We just wanted to say that we know that you have a chat box. And please submit your questions. We won't be addressing them though until the end of the presentation. So, all right, so we are part of representing the International Scholar and Student Services Office, and we have a lot of acronyms here at UCSC, and we have ISSS as our acronym. So the International Scholar and Student Services Office provides immigration advising, advocacy, cultural, and academic programming for UCSC's growing global community here. We currently serve about 500 international students from over 50 different countries. And we're hoping to actually grow our numbers by, what is it, 100, Brian?
Yeah, we'll probably have about 600 international students next year.
So we're very excited about that. So this map here gives you a snapshot of our enrollment by geographical region. So as you can see, we have some of our largest populations in Asia. So our top 5 countries are China, South Korea, Germany, India, and Italy.
Yeah. Excellent.
And then this graphic gives you an idea of the different disciplines, the concentrations, and where our current enrolled international students are studying. And so I was going to highlight PB-Sci there, which stands for Physical and Biological Sciences. And that includes disciplines such as chemistry, astronomy, earth sciences. And I'm also going to highlight the top majors of our current international students here at UCSC, and that is economics, computer science, engineering, and mathematics.
So, and as you can see, then we have students really all over the campus studying a variety of things. So whatever you want to study, we've got a variety of different majors for you, and we'd love to make it work out. And we have international students studying many different topics. So we're excited for you to come and be one of them.
That's great. So now to one of probably the biggest questions on your mind as an international student. How do I get my I-20? How do I get to UCSC? So requesting your I-20, you're going to want to log into your My UCSC portal. And by logging in, you'll be able to access a checklist, a very important checklist, which will give you all the information you need step by step on how to request the I-20. And once your I-20 has been requested and issued by our office, it will be express mailed to the address you provide. And once you receive your I-20, you'll be able to pay the SEVIS fee. Now the SEVIS fee is a fee issued by the Student Exchange Visitor and Information System, and you use that to then apply for your visa. I wanted to highlight that in addition to many students primarily coming on the F1 visa using the I-20, which we also refer to as Certificate of Eligibility, we have some students coming on the J1 visa that would be requesting a DS 2019. And by accessing your student portal, you'll be able to see exactly what you need to do to request that. I wanted to also highlight that you'll need to be sending original documents to the admissions office. You can first submit copies of things like your passport, photo identification page, your financial documents, but then you will need to have originals sent to the admissions office no later than July 15th, 2014. So that's not too far away. So make sure you have those documents sent by that date. The other thing I wanted to point out is we have our current chancellor pictured here in the photo next to the woman in the red sweater. So that's just a little idea of some of the students. Nice photo there.
Yep, Chancellor getting to hang out with some of the students,
yeah.
So hopefully you'll get to meet him at some point as well. And I just want to clarify as well, so when you log into My UCSC portal, it's going to really show you all the steps you need to do and lay out that you will be able to upload online all the copies of your
Yes.
initial documents. So to get your initial I-20, you'll do that all after, we'll be able to send that to you after you upload all of your proper documents. And then we're just stating that you will need to send us the officials later, the original documents at a later date, which is July 15th. But you can initially submit those online through the My UCSC portal, and the directions on there. So.
Right, and Brian, that all happens after they have served, right, or submitted their statement of intent to
Yep.
register?
Yep.
All right,
So.
great.
So do that soon and we'll get things going for you. So what we want to talk about right now is an excellent opportunity for you to really jumpstart your time here at UC Santa Cruz. And this is through a program we're calling Summer Start. It's a brand new program we're really excited about. It's an opportunity for you to get started with your degree here in the summer before the fall even starts. You're actually going to take 3 courses if you want to participate in this. One on grammar and editing workshop, advanced academic English, and then navigating the research university. And these are 3 courses. It's, I believe, 10 total units. Might be mistaken on that, but it's units that are going to be completely applied towards your degree. And it's going to really, these are 3 courses that are going to be great for you to establish your any English skills you might need to do, and just understanding the university, understanding the process from the university, and really help you satisfy all your English requirements, and really just get you settled in here before the fall quarter starts. So the Summer Start is going to be an excellent program.
Yes.
It's designed specifically for incoming international students, and it's going to be a great way for you to get ready for the fall quarter, and to really get a head start on most of the students coming in. So highly encourage you to look into this. You're going to come here. The move-in is on Sunday, July 27th. So it's about a 7-week program before the term begins. Along with the classes, there's lots of different activities, events, orientation type stuff we're going to do for you. We're going to take you all over the place, let you see some other parts of campus, get you off campus a little bit, have some great social events.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a great time for you to learn some stuff, to get some credits in, to transition, and to really work yourself into this mode of being a student here at UC Santa Cruz, and as well as getting to know the community, getting to know some friends right off the bat, getting to know faculty and staff a little bit more, and it's going to be a great opportunity for you to do that. So really encourage you to look into that. The deadline to submit your required documents, if you want to do this, the absolute deadline is June 1st. We encourage you to get things moving before then if you can. But absolutely, the deadline to submit everything, if you want to be part of the Summer Start, is June 1st. For more information, if you go to summer.ucsc.edu, you can find from there the Summer Start is this official name for this. So if you see links for Summer Start, that's what you're looking for here. And it's going to be a great opportunity for you to get started. So.
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight too that we have some beautiful weather most of the year, really, a lot of sunshine, and for the summer it's just going to be really fun.
Yeah, so it's going to be a great time to be here. So next, we want to talk a little bit about our orientation programming. We do have a mandatory orientation for all of our international students. So this is really going to be a chance for you to learn about different academic experiences here and expectations, learn about academic integrity and what that means directly from our faculty. We're going to talk about academic success strategies, how to you're going to be able to interact with current faculty, students, staff, as well as discover various ways to get involved on campus. This is going to be a great way for you to get familiar with campus, get aware of your surroundings. And this is again for all students. So you are going to be required to be here. It's on September 15th, so it's about 2 weeks before the term begins. It's about 2 weeks long. There is a price. It's going to be $750 for the orientation. That does include all your meals and housing, as well as the program and everything that goes along with the programming of that. So be prepared to be here September 15th, no later than that.
Yes.
For the orientation. But it's going to be a great program, and again, any student coming to college, there's a big adjustment coming to university. For many of our international students, it's even a larger adjustment, adjusting to culture, adjusting to America, and we recognize that, and because of that, we've built this orientation. We have a lot of activities and just programs and everything built into this that are really going to help you adjust during your time here for UC Santa Cruz. and in the end, make you a successful student. And that's what we all are looking for.
That's right, Brian. And not only is there going to be academic programs, but some really fun social things mixed in too. So it
Yeah.
should be really great.
Yeah, and also to let you know, for anybody who's going to join us for earlier in the summer start, some of the things you'll already have from the summer start. If you come to the summer start, you're still going to be expected to be here for the orientation.
That's right.
But any events that we do that are duplicative, that we've already done in summer start, you won't be expected to be at those, but you are expected to come to the rest of the orientation because there's going to be lots of other things as part of that as well. And so now I want to talk about some of the other things we do. So as Ariel said in the beginning, our office, International Scholars and Student Services, a lot of what we do is advising, immigration-related advising, as well as advocating for our students and programming social events and different things, all built around your success. So we've built a lot of different programs and events all around making sure that you can be a successful student. And that, of course, is going to involve some social events, some events to introduce you to other people across campus, some opportunities for you to meet other international students, opportunities for you to meet other domestic students, and lots of out-of-class type experiences. So an example of some events that we have from this past year, we had a welcome barbecue to really welcome everybody in, give you some free food. Everyone enjoys that.
Yes.
We have an International Friends Program. This is an opportunity for you to, again, interact with other domestic students who've actually traveled overseas. So these are students that are particularly interested in other cultures, other countries, and seeing other places.
Yeah.
And really want to interact with you. And it's a great way for you to really, we're going to match you up with either a group of students or another student or so. It's a great way for you to get to know other students who have a real interest in various cultures and countries and languages and everything. So.
And it's an optional program, but it's really popular, and we have such a large population of study abroad students. I didn't mention in the beginning, but we're housed with the International Education Office. We're housed under that office, but we have a co-partner and the Programs Abroad office, who sends hundreds of students, even some international students, to study abroad every year. So we do collaborate on a lot of events, and the Friends program is just one of those that is just really excellent.
Yeah, absolutely. So we also have what we call international mingles. This is another time, just a very informal time for you to come together, mingle with other students. We'll have some free pizza and some other things. We'll have some contests and some prizes. And
really awesome
another great way for you to interact with other people. We'll go to some sporting events. This weekend we're actually going kayaking with some of the students. And we'll have other ways to just interact, small things, campus hikes. We have a beautiful, wonderful, large campus. And so many students, oftentimes, they go to their class, they go to the residence hall, they go to class, they go to the residence hall. They don't see most of campus. And our campus hikes are a way for you to see some parts of campus that you otherwise probably wouldn't ever see. So, and just a variety of other things. And this is just a sample of some of the things that we do throughout the year. And just want to give you an idea of what that's like. So. And then workshops as well. So these are more informational. So again, a lot of our programs and events might be more social events, but we also have a lot of ways for you to get some more information about various laws or safety or regulations, or whether if you want to get a job on campus or off campus, or you want to talk about employment options, or you want to understand U.S. culture more. There's lots of different events, workshops that we'll have designed again around international students. And these are to help you really understand some of the other nuances of regulations and laws or whatever it might be, and we're here for that as well. So for a full event calendar listings, if you go to our website, again, you'll be able to see all of our events that we have on campus, and we're going through right now the spring quarters. We have some of our spring events up there. You won't see many fall events yet; they're not all scheduled, but those will be coming up before too long. So. That's what we have for events and workshops. And then what we want to say here is basically just at the end of our presentation, I just want to give you some contact information. So again, you can see there our website, our email address, the istudent@ucsc.edu. That goes to our international student advisors who can check that and answer any questions, any immigration, any related questions to you being an international student at UC Santa Cruz. If you email us there, we'll be able to answer those. or if you want to call us, we can take your phone calls. As well, if you have access to Twitter and Facebook, I know not everyone does, but we do have both a Twitter profile and a Facebook account and Facebook page. Please like us, follow us, whatever. Tweet us, let us know what you're thinking. If you have any questions, it's a great way to connect with us, learn about not only what is going on in our office, but just what's going on across campus.
And potentially connect with current international students. They may,
Yeah.
connect, yeah.
Yeah, you
you
can
might
ask.
find current international students on Facebook or something.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Absolutely. We do want to stipulate that if you have any questions directly regarding your admissions at this point, to please email the admissions team, and you can email them at internationaladmissions@ucsc.edu. Their email address is on there. Anything after your admissions related, you can ask us, but if it's specifically regarding your admissions, you can ask the international admissions team.
So thank you so much, Ariel and Brian. That was fantastic. I think that's a great introduction to International Scholar and Student Services for our newly admitted international students. We've gotten a couple questions in the chat that I want to make sure to follow up with, and I want to encourage anybody who is watching, if you have international student-related questions, please feel free to type those in, and we'll definitely jump on them and answer them for you. The first couple questions I've gotten, though, is from a student who'd like to know, can you take other classes in the Summer Start program, like pre-calculus? So if they're here and they're doing Summer Start, can they do other classes?
That's a really good question, Brian. Do you want to?
That is a good question, and I am afraid I don't know the answer to that. There might be some flexibility with that. I would say that would be a thing to probably email us about, and we can probably get you a detailed answer on that. I'm not the coordinator for the Summer Start program. There are other summer classes at UC Santa Cruz, so that might be possible, and it's something I'd love to look into for that. So we can get back to you on that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have another student who's asking, once I submit my statement of intent to register, when should I expect my I-20?
Well, you submit your statement of intent, and then if you log on to the portal, you'll be able to see where you can upload all of your documents, for instance, your financial documents and passport. I forget what all's required on there, but it's all listed on your portal.
Yeah, it should. The instructions should be very clear, and our admissions team has done a wonderful job creating this online database, and our IT professionals here, so that you can actually upload those documents. So the essentials are on there, but definitely financial documents of support, your copy of your visa stamp, any other, excuse me, you're not going to have your visa by then, but if you had previous visas, sometimes we like to see copies of those, but your passport photo page and biographical page.
Perfect. Voice from off the camera, international admissions representative with you too. Name is Adrian Bergenfeld. What we're going to be looking for is we're going to be looking for your financial documents that is not only a bank statement, but if you have somebody else who is sponsoring your tuition, so if it's your parents, your grandmother, your aunt or your uncle, you're going to have them sign this piece of paper that is on that portal saying they agree to sponsor your education. And if you are co-sponsored, you need to have every single person sign that piece of paper. And you'll also need a stamp from the bank showing that there is that amount of money available. You'll need that passport picture with your entire name, as Ariel mentioned. And then as Brian mentioned, you'll need to make sure that if you have other documents that you feel are necessary to prove you can financially afford and your reason for coming to the U.S., then that's what you'll want to upload too. After you get those all submitted and International Admissions accepts those, then we'll go ahead and forward that on to having your I-20 be processed by the International Scholar and Students team. Roundabout time is going to take from the time that we say, great job, you've given us everything you need, it's going to be about 5 to 7 days to get that item processed. But that doesn't mean you're going to have it in your hand by then. What that means is then we're going to stick it in FedEx, and you're going to need to wait for FedEx to deliver it. And we're going to give you that tracking number.
Yeah.
So if you have a question or any concern, don't email us. Check that FedEx number. So it's very important that you make sure that that address is correct that you want it delivered to.
Yeah.
And if that's not your home address, make sure that where it's getting delivered to knows that it's coming and that they will sign for it.
Yeah.
And that is absolutely imperative. Great question, though.
Thank you, Adrian. That's really
Excellent.
great.
Well, we have a student here, and hopefully, I'm sure all of us can try and answer this question, but the student is really interested in knowing. He's from Saudi Arabia, and he really wants to know, are there other Saudi students at UC Santa Cruz?
Yes, there are. We do not have a large population. If you refer back to the map we showed at the beginning, we have about 3% of our overall student population from the general Middle East area. And that encompasses, obviously quite a few different countries. There are Saudi students. I do not know the exact number off the top of my head, and it's not a large population, but we are excited and we're hopeful to have additional ones join us in the near future.
And if you want to see some of your friends come to UCSC, we actually have our Assistant Director of International Admissions will be in the Middle East recruiting within the next month. So if that's something that you're interested in about, go ahead and email us at internationaladmissions@ucsc.edu to find out those exact dates.
That's
Absolutely. So we have another student who's interested in knowing, is UC Santa Cruz going to be able to provide transportation from the airport to our campus when they arrive, if they're coming for summer start or if they're coming for the mandatory orientation?
That's a really good question. I would need to speak with the orientation director, who's collaborating with our office to plan mandatory orientation. As of right now, I believe we do not have anything formally established for airport pickups. However, we're absolutely can provide different services that are available. But as far as covering that transportation cost, we do have quite a few major airports in the area, but two being, of course, San Francisco, SFO, and then the International Airport in San Jose. So, but we would need to get back to you on that, I think.
And I'm pretty positive that for the summer start we are. I don't know about the for the orientation. That is something we will definitely check onto, and we will if it's not already on the websites for those specific programs, we will get it on the websites when we can, once everything's confirmed. So you'll be able to know that.
So we have another student who's interested in knowing, I'm an international student and I can't make either the summer start or the mandatory orientation programs. What do I do?
Oh, you'll need to let us know immediately, but really, because it's mandatory, we mean mandatory. As far as the mandatory orientation goes, for summer session, that's completely optional. So we would need to know a little bit more about your current situation, and so please email istudent@ucsc.edu.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have another student who's interested in knowing, how can I get a job on campus? So can I, as an international student, work on campus?
Yes, that's
Absolutely.
a great question. So it depends on which visa status you're in, which process you'll follow and whatnot. And if you're an F1 student, you can begin working on campus right away without authorization. But of course, there's a lot of different questions you might have, and you'll need to come. That's why we have the mandatory orientation, for example. One reason is to explain all of those different regulations and things to guide you in that process. But certainly there are ways for students to work on campus as well as off campus with authorization from our office.
And then the student has a follow-up question to that,
Sure.
and is that also true for paid internships? So are international students eligible to be able to participate?
Absolutely,
in
yes. And so the one thing that with paid internships is that the internship would need to be directly related to the field of study you're in, and it's in conjunction and related to your academia. So, but yes, certainly we have some great sites, not sites, but pages that will show what these different work authorizations are on our website. So you can definitely use the search engine on the top right-hand corner of our website, which is ieo.ucsc.edu, and you can write in things like work authorization. I will say, so the major work authorization types for the F1 visa are things like CPT and OPT, where CPT is something you would be doing once you're here for one full academic year you're eligible for. So there are a few things that you'll need to be aware of, but certainly with time and if you maintain your status and good academic standing, you can definitely a lot of our students have paid internships in their field.
Yeah, so there's definitely one way, whether you want to work on campus or get authorization to work off campus, there's definitely lots of ways to do that, and a lot of our students definitely find employment one way or the other, whether they want to work on some job on campus, which is a little easier to do. There's no authorization for our F1 students to work part-time. And then, as Ariel said, there's the ways to get internships and everything off campus as well.
And thank you, Brian, for mentioning part-time. So with the student visa, you're expected, there's some limitations on the time you can work. So what we mean by part-time is no more than 20 hours, so 20 hours or less during the academic quarters, so fall, spring, and winter. During summer, however, you can work full-time, again with a job that's eligible, and we will explain that a lot more at orientation and things like that.
So I have another student who's really excited and loves studying abroad and wants to know, as an international student, can they also do education abroad?
Yeah. Yeah, glad you asked that question. Absolutely. You'll definitely need, there'll be things you might need to work out as far as visa regulations and getting any visas that might be required for that country and making sure you're eligible to re-enter the country and everything. But absolutely, you're eligible to study abroad, and we would love that. And we think it's a great opportunity for you. It's one of the reasons why our offices are connected,
Yes.
both our International Student Services and our programs abroad. We would definitely encourage you to take that opportunity. It's an excellent opportunity, regardless of whether you're a domestic or an international student.
That's right.
Okay,
Great questions.
They are good questions, and we just got another great question that came in.
Okay.
It's not exactly related to international scholar and student services, but it is an admissions expert, and since we have an admissions expert here,
Good.
I'm going to go ahead and ask it. The student is saying, I expect to receive a D in a course for this semester, which is not good,
Right.
and is wondering if it will affect his admission status and if he should drop the course instead of receiving the lower mark. Adrian, do you want to help the student out?
Great question. I am sorry to hear about that D. If you can withdraw withdraw legally without receiving a poor grade, and if it will not affect your requirements that you need in order to get into UCSC, then I would suggest you withdraw as quickly as you can. If you're going to end up getting basically a fail for withdrawing, then you will need to email us at admissions and let us know about the change in your application. Because unfortunately, a D or an F in your senior year, so your last year of school, does have some effect on your application. I'm not going to say if that means that we'll have to rescind our offer, but it definitely does mean that we need to know about it. And it is something you need to make us aware of. So if you can get out of it, go for it. If you can't, let us know.
And where should the student communicate to get either more information or to update us about his grade?
You can update your application on your portal, or you can email us at admissions@ucsc.edu.
And if I could clarify one of my answers from before regarding the question about airport pickup, I did just confirm with my colleague that yes, we actually will have airport pickup for both the Summer Start and the orientation program. So we will be able to pick you up. Details and all that are to be decided, and we'll get that out to you when it's relevant. But yes, we will have airport pickup for both Summer Start and the orientation.
I love UC Santa Cruz. We answer questions immediately. It's amazing. In real time, folks. Okay. I've got another great question from a student who wants to know, they attended high school in the U.S., but they're an international student. Do they have to pay the visa fee again?
If they're able to transfer their status, then they should not have to pay the visa. If you're going to be if your visa status is going to be expiring, your visa stamp is going to be expiring, and then you plan to travel internationally before coming to UCSC, then you will definitely need to renew your visa. But if you get all the information to us requested on the checklist on your My UCSC portal, usually we're able to transfer your visa status, especially if it's going from F1 visa to F1 visa. So.
Great.
And if you have questions specifically about that or concerns after my answer, then we're happy to address your questions if you email istudent@ucsc.edu.
I have another student who's asking, they grew up primarily in India, but they went to high school in the United States. But culturally, they feel more affiliated as an international student. They're interested in knowing, can they attend international orientation, even though they're a U.S. student officially?
That's a really good
I'd
question.
imagine so. Yeah, we would make that work, and we'd love to have you. We'd also love to have you at all of our events and programs and different things throughout the year. If you may not be technically classified as international, if you're not here on a student visa, you may not always get all of our emails right away. So we would just ask that you reach out to us, contact us at iStudent, tell us you want to stay in touch, tell
Yes,
us you
please.
identify as an international student, and we would love to include you in everything and anything we have. And would love for you to be part of us. So absolutely, we'd encourage you to participate any way you can.
Yeah, please do indicate in the email that that you maybe are a U.S. citizen, but you identify more as being an international student, and if you are seriously interested in coming for the mandatory orientation, so we can kind of work with you there.
Okay, great. So I have another student who's really interested in knowing how do students travel home internationally during breaks? Do they have to get special forms signed? Do they normally go home over break? Do they stay? Can they stay over break? They
Yeah.
had a lot of questions.
Yeah. So yeah, we definitely students are able to travel if everything's in order and in line. And one of the typical things you'll need to do is on your I-20, again, this document that shows you're here as an international student. There is a page that we'll actually sign that one of us as advisors would sign for you to just show that you are currently registered and enrolled and everything. You're in current standing. And that's really called a travel signature. So that's something that you would come in every so often and have us sign that. You would need to make sure that you're in good standing and in status and
Yep.
everything.
You need to make sure you have a current visa.
Yeah.
So typically a lot of continuing international students, eventually their visa stamp expires. However, their I-20, their end date on their I-20 or their program doesn't end until much later into the future. So students with expired visas, for example, that want to travel need to always get the travel signature. However, once you exit the U.S., you'll need to re-enter and get a to re-enter, you need to have a valid visa. So you could have a valid travel signature, a valid I-20 program, but if you don't have a valid visa, that's something to definitely pay attention to and get a valid, giving yourself enough time during travel. So, but yes, certainly we have a lot of internationals traveling back home, or international students traveling, into different locations around the world. And there was one thing that we wanted to. I was thinking we wanted to mention, but if I remember it, I'll come back to it.
So yeah, it's definitely possible, and it would be a type of thing before before you want to travel. If you have any questions, need to know anything, come in, meet with us, email us, whatever, and we'll help you make sure everything's in order. But absolutely, a lot of our students travel. You just need to make sure you got everything in order, and that shouldn't be a problem.
I remember what I was going to say. So the travel signature is typically valid for 1 year or 12 months. And so you don't need the travel signature every time you travel internationally. But it's always a good idea if you're unsure, if you have any questions. There's also a required document, an arrival and re-entry document that's essential to your status, which is called the I-94, which is very recently become electronic. And we have more information on our website. You can, in that search box on our home page, you can type in travel guidelines, and it'll give you all the information you need to travel internationally.
So we have another student who, and this is sort of related to travel, but more related to staying here at UC Santa Cruz during winter holidays, spring break. So are international students allowed to stay in university housing?
There are certain breaks in which the campus will be completely closed, and there are other times, different other breaks in which you will be able to stay here. I don't have that calendar right in front of me to tell you what those are, but yeah, sometimes the campus will close for breaks, and you will need to leave campus, and we'll make that very clear to you when you come or beforehand. But yeah, there are definitely times in which you will need to. Campus will be closed. There'll be other breaks, shorter breaks, stuff like that, in which you might be able to stay on campus.
And certainly on the housing website, they have some great resources, even videos where students talk about different options, different housing options. In particular with international students, I see some, they happen to have family in the area or in the U.S. or friends. Others can just stay at like different like hotels, or they take the opportunity to travel.
Yeah,
So it depends on what your options are, but certainly take a look at the housing, because that should be published on their website somewhere as far as
Yeah.
when the housing is closed and the dormitory is closed
Yeah,
for a while.
and the university during many of those times during those breaks, the university will actually organize even various bus trips and other things
That's
to.
right.
It may not be a full organized trip where everything's planned out for you, but it might be a bus trip down to LA like they did last year, or San Diego, I
Yeah.
think. In which, if you want to travel a little bit, it's an easy way to travel. You might still have all the other arrangements on your own, but it's a great way to bus down and see some other parts of the state and the country.
So I have one very dedicated student who's asking this great question. He asked, if I get a room in College 9 for summer start, can I keep it for mandatory orientation and the rest of the year? He really wants to know if he can keep his dorm room.
I think if you were to become affiliated with College 9, I don't know if that particular exact room would be guaranteed to you for the whole time. However, perhaps a room in that building somehow
Yeah.
could be made available. We can't make any of those guarantees or
Yeah.
even clear. Yeah.
That's probably a question that we would have to ask housing. That's not something that's a pretty detailed regarding housing, and I'm not sure if we know that. I imagine there might be some moving here and there, but that'd be a question that housing would be better suited to answer, unfortunately.
We appreciate your dedication
Yeah,
to College
thank you.
9 and wanting to stick to that dorm room though. We have other questions coming in from students who are wanting to know when exactly as an international student will I be moving in? So when the student's asking, when should I buy my plane ticket to come to UC Santa Cruz?
Yeah, so you are allowed to enter the country 30 days in advance of your program start date. That's not necessarily when you'll come to Santa Cruz. That would be much closer to your start date. But just as far as plane tickets, if you some people want to travel, see some of the country before arriving. So you're allowed to enter 30 days before your program start date. As far as Santa Cruz, for the summer start, that move-in date is Sunday, July 27th. So that's the move-in date for the summer start program. For our orientation begins on the 15th. The move-in will probably be just a day or so beforehand. I don't know if that date is set. I don't know that exact date, but it'll be just probably a day or so before the start of orientation.
Yeah, and I wanted to clarify but agree that yes, it's 30 days, no more. It's a very serious thing, so don't try to enter the country more than 30 days. Otherwise, you won't be able to.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that brings up actually another perfect question. That was a perfect transition. Another student's asking, what is some of the best advice that you have for our international students in terms of keeping their visa status current and not getting in trouble and just being able to navigate the whole process?
Yeah.
Sure. Well, I'd say one of the most important things is thinking about, why you're here in the U.S., and that's to study. And so we really our goal here is not only to help you navigate the regulations, because we actually see every student as, an adult and very responsible individual. And however, we also want to see you excel academically. We want you to know what your responsibilities are for the regulations. So one of them being is maintaining your full-time enrollment. So for undergraduate students, you have to be enrolled in a minimum of 12 units. That's every quarter. And there are some exceptions, and we'll certainly cover that during mandatory orientation. But to maintain your status, one essential thing is to be enrolled at all times in 12 units. You can be enrolled in more, but definitely the minimum is 12. The other thing that's very important is to make sure that you're reporting your address, your residence address, and that is something that can be done once you find the resident address. You establish that in your My UCSC portal, and that's something very important. That's something that's in the federal regulations that our campus is required to report to CVIS. And so that's something that's essential, as well as not working illegally in the U.S. You'll need to definitely make sure you have a legitimate job, and that you've checked in with our office, that you're not working outside of the realm of the federal regulations around work benefits.
Yeah.
So those are some primary things.
Yeah. And those are
about.
the things I would echo as well. I just want to clarify one point when we said to maintain your full-time studies during every quarter. I want to clarify that for us that really means the fall, winter,
right.
and spring quarter. Summer,
Thank
you're
you, Brian.
allowed to take summer classes. We
Yes.
have summer classes, but that is not a required term for you. So again, if you wanted to get that internship, or if you wanted to travel, if
That's
you
right.
wanted to do whatever you needed to do, you don't need to take classes during the summer. But wanted to clarify for us in the regular American university system, that's fall, winter, spring. Summer is not a required term.
That's right, and I was happy you mentioned that. And the other thing is, if you are doing an internship during the summer and it falls in the realm of CPT or a work authorization for F1 students, that we do require you to be enrolled in one class if it's curricular, for course. For our course.
Yeah, and we'll talk
So-
about all that when you come.
Yes,
but yeah.
that's right. So.
So I have another international student, and this may not be a question that you can answer, but they're asking, so I want to share.
Mhm.
And they want to know, can they drive while they're in the U.S.? Can they get a license and actually start to drive?
Absolutely, yes. So we will give you all the information you need to connect with our DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicles, which will help you get the driver's license. There are certain things you'll need to do and
Certain
to be able to
eligibility
get
required. So if you're, I think it's 18 or older, or
16,
16
right?
or
Yeah.
older, but they also, it's much easier of a process if you have a license in your home country. And I'm not sure where the 18, you'll have to go on their website, but there's also ways for you to get like an identification card and things like that.
Yeah. And even if you don't have a car here on campus, we have a great system called is it
Zipcar?
Zipcar. So
Zipcar.
which actually is sort of short-term rentals and they're around campus. You can pick them up, and those are available to international students.
That's right.
We'll give you a flyer when you arrive about how to get a Zipcar, and basically you you sign up for their service, and you can sort of rent it out whenever you need it. So you don't even need to buy a car or pay for parking. You can just go ahead and sign up for a Zipcar account and take it from there.
Yeah, and the insurance is, as I understand it, is also covered with that Zipcar. I'm really glad Brian brought that up, because what you'll want to do, if that at all interests you, is I've spoken with the Zipcar reps on campus with the TAPS, the Transportation Office, and they do require international students to have translated documentation, certain driving documentation. I don't know if it's driving records. I'm not exactly sure, but if that at all interests you, might as well, before you come, kind of look into what documents you need, so you don't have to be bothered with that later once you're here. So.
Okay. We've got a couple more minutes to ask questions, or for questions to be asked by our students, so I encourage those questions to keep coming in. And these are actually questions that might be, Adrian, can you help answer a little bit more? But I have a student who's interested in knowing if we accept their A-levels and what credits they're going to get for A-levels.
We do accept A-levels. If you're submitting A-levels, well, you already would know as far as if you've been accepted or not, obviously, but we have to have at least 4 A-levels. As far as how much credit you'll receive, that's something that you'll kind of need to wait and see. It's about what score you receive and everything else, so it's not a cut and dry answer as far as if you'll get credit or not. That's something that you'll see reflected when you actually arrive and talk to your academic advisor. And if you want more specifics on A-levels, you can go ahead and email us at internationaladmissions@ucsc.edu, but do realize that for some A-levels you will receive credit. And the same for IB and AP.
Okay. So student kind of asking a similar related question. They want to know, when are they going to actually be able to register and sign up for their classes and as an international student?
Do you guys want to take that?
I don't know the date of.
Once you get here.
Yeah, it's during orientation, in which we'll actually meet with you and you'll go through the registration process. So during orientation, you'll be able to do all of that.
You also have an opportunity to get your ID card and things like that, some essentials.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So kind of similar to our student earlier who wanted to know if there were any other Saudi Arabian students. I have a student who's asking, how will they know if there are other people who celebrate similar cultural experiences to them? They're asking specifically if people celebrate Diwali here on campus.
Yes.
And then they want to know, are other people going to understand their culture and if they're going to find a community?
Sure.
Absolutely. So one of the ways is to get involved with one of our variety of different student organizations. So we have an Indian student organization, we have a Chinese student organization, and an Iranian student organization, and all these different organizations from people from around the world. Some of which are from those countries, some of which are maybe American but are descended from those countries. So there's lots of different opportunities, lots of different organizations to be involved in. Definitely Diwali is an event that the students will have. The Indian Student Association and other organizations will celebrate lots of other,
in the community as well.
So there's definitely lots of ways to get plugged in. And we can also, again, come to our events, different things. You'll get to meet people from throughout the world and from your own countries and everything as well. So, but definitely the student organizations are a way to get plugged in, so that'd be great, absolutely.
Yeah, and there's, I know for the SOAR is the acronym, but for the student organization office that they also have a way for you to make your own student organization. I think it's a minimum of 2 to start it. So if you're really energetic or passionate, you don't see a group that maybe has something that you have that you want to share or like start, you can start your own group. So it's pretty exciting that students can do that.
Yeah, and the last thing I'd say on the topic, again, if you follow us on Twitter or if you find us on Facebook, anytime that I find out about those different events, those different cultural events, for instance, our Indian Student Association is putting on a journey through India, and that's going to be on April 26th, I believe, or the 17th, I forget. It's coming up in a few weeks, and I just tweeted that out. I'll send out all the information regarding various cultural events and performances and different things like that. So definitely, if you have access to Twitter or Facebook, please follow us or like us on there, and that's a great way to stay connected and get to know not only what we are putting on within our office, but also what other organizations and groups across campus are putting on as well.
Excellent. We have another question that B just wrote down for me. Can you describe or tell what the big difference is between the residential colleges and what exactly is a residential college? Is this like where I live? Is this where I go to class? What is it?
Yeah, so the residential system, and please feel free to jump in and help me out here.
Sure.
But yeah, so definitely you will be affiliated with one of the colleges, and that is where you will live. It's really this living, learning experience in which you will be taking some classes with your fellow colleagues in that college, but you'll also have other classes from people from throughout the university.
Right.
So your engineering or computer science class may not be just your college, but
right.
your core class within your college, and maybe a couple other classes will be with people just from your college. So it's really this living, learning experience in which you don't just come to your dorm room to sleep. It's really this whole residential experience in which you're living, you're learning, and you're participating in this whole experience. And each of the colleges throughout the university has really different theme and a different focus of the college. So look into the different ones, figure out which one you think really speaks to yourself the most. Obviously, a lot of our international students are in College 9 because that has a very much an international theme to it, global and international perspectives. I forget the exact terminology. But Merrill College is one that has a cultural awareness and this cultural element to it as well that really fits in with some of our international students. And again, there's 10 different colleges across the campus that each has its own theme. So look at that. College 10 is social justice.
Yeah, there's some really interesting
and
diverse themes, as well as I understand that each college has a sister college too. So that's pretty, and they share the dining hall. So.
Yeah, so your dining halls will be, there'll be one very close to your college, is affiliated with your college, but you can eat again anywhere across campus. If you really like one over somewhere else, you can go over there, but each college has one pretty close by. So, yeah.
Excellent. And this will be our last question, which is actually perfect for what you were talking about. You talked about the dining halls. The student wants to know if you have food that's like good for international students. I'm assuming the student says, I'm from China. Do you have food that I will like?
Yeah, so that is definitely so. Our dining halls have lots of different food from lots of different places across the world, and we're always trying to improve the experience. And it really is. I've heard from a lot of our students, it's a great experience. Obviously, the food we make here is going to be a little bit different. You should expect that, and we're hoping you'll go out and experience some new foods as well. But yeah, we'll definitely have some Chinese style foods and some different things. And it may not be quite what you're used to from home cooking, but we try our best, and it really is a great experience. There's some great food across campus, and it's not just there'll be some Chinese food, there'll be some Italian food and American food, and Indian food, and lots of different experiences. Every day is a little bit different, so there'll definitely be some opportunities for you to get some good food across campus.
And we add one more thing? Do we have?
Sure, you have time. Go right ahead.
So my colleagues were reminding us that we have some Skype appointments coming up. So definitely go on the admissions.
Yeah, we actually have those dates. So if you're available Monday, April 7th from 6 to 8 a.m. Now realize this is Pacific time. So right now in California, Pacific time, it is 4:49 p.m. So make sure when you're thinking about what time it is, use your world clock and realize. So we have Monday, April 7th from 6 to 8 a.m. with one of our international student advisors. We have Tuesday, April 8th from 6:30 to 8:30 a.m. actually with Ariel right here. We have Wednesday, April 9th from 6 to 8 p.m. with our Assistant Director of International Admissions. We have Tuesday, April 15th from 6 to 8 p.m. with somebody from the residential life who has a lot of information about housing, academic support, dining, all those great questions. Then on Wednesday, April 16th from 6 to 8 a.m., you have an opportunity to talk with me, the voice off the camera. And last of all, from Thursday, April 17th from 6 to 8 p.m., you can speak with Kathy Cooney, who is another one of our Residence Life Associate Administrative Officers. Now, if you're interested in signing up for any of these, please email us at internationaladmissions@ucsc.edu. Realize these are 15-minute appointments, but this is a great way to get your questions answered. And you can sign up for as many of those appointments as you like, as long as they're still available.
Yeah, and again, the email address is that email you see at the very bottom of your screen, I believe right now, the internationaladmissions@ucsc.edu. Email them with any questions on those Skype appointments.
Okay. Well, before we leave you all today, I would just love to hear from Brian and Ariel. What's your last piece of advice for our international students as they go through this process? And your thoughts on why it is you think that working at UCSC and working with these students is so special?
Yeah, this is just a wonderful place. Really, can't say it enough. The campus is just an amazing spot to be. We have a very dedicated staff, not just in our office, but across the university that are really here to help you and guide you through this process. We want you to be successful. We want you to have a good time here, and we're here to help make that happen. That's really our jobs here. So definitely you're going to get a good, caring experience here. It's a big university with a small feel. Again, when you talk about that college experience, that residential college experience, it really shrinks it all down for you. So you get a lot of attention. There's a lot of things going on designed just for you. And yet it's a big university with lots of great stuff going on, lots of great academic programs in a beautiful spot of the world, right off the Monterey Bay, right off the Pacific Ocean. And it's just it's a great spot to be. So.
It's stunning, and I had mentioned a little earlier in our presentation just how many sunny days we get and just clear days. There will be some cold weather, so I think a tip that I would say is to bring comfortable clothing that is like layered, so maybe like one like winter style jacket, warm jacket or sweater. I think like it's pretty casual feel on campus, but definitely to bring layers, consider bringing layers for our type of climate. Bring some maybe like running shoes or outdoor shoes. It's just a very outdoors feel. We have a great department on campus called OPERS. With recreational activities from mountain biking to hiking to kayaking. It's just really amazing, and yeah, so we're really thrilled to be here with you today.
Yeah.
We're really glad that you all came online, and we're here for you and any questions you may have about UCSC.
Yeah.
So.
And the last thing I'd just like to add to that, again, obviously the reason you're going to be coming here is to get your degree, to study, and you're going to need to study and take some time to do that. But definitely encourage you as well to get involved. Sometimes the best way to study is to get to know other people. You'll get to study with them, work with them, collaborate with them. And the best way to do that is just to get involved. There's lots of different organizations, associations across campus, lots of different events going on, lots of things that we're putting on within our office. Come meet other students, get to know other people. Don't just stay in your shell and study 24/7. That's not going to be a sustainable way
Right.
to really get through. So encourage you to study when you need to study, but definitely get out and get to know people and have a good time. It's going to be a good time here.
Well, thank you again so much to International Scholar and Student Services and Ariel and Brian for joining us. Thank you to all of you in our virtual environment who joined us as well. We can't wait to see you in the fall and in the summer here at UC Santa Cruz. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.